Today we're going to continue our OP12 journey. Yesterday doing Koala and today doing Silver's Rayleigh. This is a deck that I think is really underrated. I've played against it a lot and I was really surprised that it's actually a very strong aggro deck, using a lot of the new support like the Jinbei for a rush option and the new Luffy to cheat out more bodies, and really just hitting very hard. I've got a few little tech choices that I want to try out myself, but other than that, this is going to be a standard deck off like gumgum.gg or one of the basic deck profile decks, but we did add a few little spicy picks, and let's just go straight to the deck profile and let you know all about them. And here is our Silver's Rayleigh leader. This is a leader I was really hyped to see, and then it turned out to be kind of mid. But we are going to build today to see if we can make it better than mid, and that's kind of the goal. So it says you cannot have cards at the cost of 5 or greater in your deck per the rules, which is wild. Activate main once per turn. You may reveal 2 event cards, give up to one of your characters with a base power of 4,000 or less, plus 2,000 power during this turn. So let's just start with the events, because I think that's going to be the simplest thing. As you see, you may reveal 2 events cards from your hand. Now we are going to run a lot of events, and this is very important for Silver's Rayleigh, and a lot of the new support is revealing 2 events in hand. So we're running 3 of the To Never Doubt That Is Power, which says you may give 2 active Dawn cards to your Silver's Rayleigh. Your opponent cannot activate blocker if that leader or character attacks during this turn. So if we had a Silver's Rayleigh leader, which this is kind of telling us we're going to have one eventually, it does actually work on that, but we don't have a low cost, low statted Silver's Rayleigh right now. Now, at least one under 5 costs. All the other Silver's Rayleighs are 8 and 5 and can't even be used in the deck. So this does have 0 cost, but it does have a 2 active Dawn cost, which is very different than what we're used to. But it has a counter event that does not have a cost at all. Give up to one of your Silver's Rayleigh leaders or your characters plus 2,000 during this battle. So it's just a 2k counter basically for free. Very nice. I really like this card. I think people don't really understand how it works based off how it's worded. Your opponent cannot activate blocker if that leader or character attacks during this turn. It does not say when that character attacks, your opponent cannot activate blocker, so unless that's a mistranslation, that is actually busted. Now we get into Observation Hockey. You may attach 1 active Dawn card to your Silver's Rayleigh, look at the top 4 and reveal a red event, or up to 1 cost 3 or greater card and add it to your hand. So we can add any of our 3 cost, 4 cost, or events. It basically just means we can't add like our searchers or our low end, which we'll go into in a minute, but we can add the new Monkey D. Luffy. So it's just a searcher or grabs you an event from the top of the deck with no issue with the name. So Observation Hockey can actually grab itself. Now it does cost 1 active Dawn, but it puts an active Dawn on your leader, so you get to continue to swing aggressively. Now we are also running Conqueror's Hockey, which says give it to one of your leaders or characters plus 2,000 during this battle, and then you may rest 1 additional Dawn. If you do, give all of your opponent's characters and leaders minus 1,000 during this turn, which is actually crazy. I mean, giving minus 1,000 across the board is just so strong. I'm excited to see how this actually works. I've not had it used against me because a lot of people just don't really know how to use this deck properly. I feel like we're all still learning. Of course, I'm still going to be learning and probably make a lot of mistakes as well, but that's what we're here to do today, so I'm excited to test this one out for sure. We're also running Armament Hockey, which says you may attach 1 active Dawn card to your Silver's Rayleigh, give up to one of your leaders or characters plus 1,000, so it's basically a 1 Dawn 2k like power. It's good for sure, but it's not the best. Like, I'm not sold on it, so I don't know. But it has the counter event that just is the 2k counter towards your Silver's Rayleigh or character. Very nice. I enjoy that a lot. But it's also good just to get 2k extras for an aggressive swing. I mean, I'll take it for sure. I'm not going to complain. Then we have Gum Gum Mulgun. Of course, this is going to be the removal part of the deck. Give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 5,000 during this turn. Then, if your opponent has a character with 6,000 power or more, KO up to one of your opponent's 2,000 or less. So it helps, you know, kind of get rid of the useless Captain Kidd or into those kind of matchups. It's searchable in the deck through all of our event searchers, which is Shakya. Yep, I can read. On play, look at the top 5, reveal 1 Monkey D. Luffy or red event and add it to your hand, so that can search all of these events and Monkey D. Luffy or Monkey D. Luffy. Now we also are going to be running the Boa Hancock searcher that has the exact same cost. It just says look at the top 5, reveal 1 red event or Monkey D. Luffy and put it into your hand, but it says activate main, you may trash this character, give 2 rested Dawn to one of your leaders or character cards. So what we can do is actually use our leader effect, which gives plus 2,000 to a 4,000 power lower character. We give that power to Boa Hancock, swing in for 5, get rid of the Boa Hancock, add the 2 rested Dawn to our leader, and now we're going to swing in for 7 with leader. So 5 with the Boa Hancock, 7 with leader, and it gives us the free Dawn. So pretty nice interaction there, but you obviously have to have other bodies on the board or some rested Dawn to use that secondary effect. So it doesn't have rush or anything. You can't do it on the turn it's played, and we don't give rush to anything, so keep that in mind. Now, we are also playing this new Monkey D. Luffy. This is a very new card. If you have 2 or more attached on-cards, this character gains plus 2,000 power. Then you may reveal 2 events from your hand, play 1 red character with a power of 3,000 or less from your hand, then give 1 rested Dawn to your leader or one of your characters. So I'm excited to see how this really works. We have a few targets for this, mainly our Searcher here, Boa Hancock, our Searcher here, Buggy, which looks at the top 5 and grabs a red event and can't be KO'd in slash attribute characters. This Monkey D. Luffy, which cannot be KO'd by strike attribute characters and gives itself 2 rested Dawn. We can play out this Sanji right here, which has plus 3,000 power on your turn and on KO draws a card. And then finally, we can play the Shakuyaka, which we looked at earlier, which reveals a Luffy or a red event. So those are good and all, but we need to have other things than just cards that play off the Luffy, because the Luffy is not the only card in the deck. So my tech choice right now is Shiraya. With the new starter deck, so many leaders become 7k leaders. So I think this could actually have a place in the format, just being a 7k blocker at the end of the day. It's going to be very strong. So I'm excited to see how this actually works in the format. It is a 3 cost 4k, so it hits that leader threshold as well. So when we're swinging in, this will become the power of our opponent's character and keep the plus 2,000 on top of it. So if our opponent's leader is 7,000, we add 2,000 to Shiraya, because it says original base, or a base power, which means original power. So we add 2,000 to the Shiraya. Now it's a 6k. We swing in and match like their 7k leader. Now it's a 9k swing, and I think this card is really underrated once the starter decks come out. I think this is going to be a very pivotal piece in the deck that I personally came up with, but you'll have to let me know in the comments down below. We're also running Tony Chopper, which gets plus 2,000 on your opponent's turn, and as a blocker, it also hits the threshold for their leader effect, or for our leader effect, so we can use it on a blocker, 6k blocker on turn 1, or a 2k counter when we need it, or we can swing in aggressively on the next turn after using it as a free 6k blocker. So this card is just saucy. I love it. I'm really excited to see how this does. It's something else that I kind of teched in myself, giving us more blocker options while also staying aggressive with those blockers. So we use them as blockers on the turn we play them, and then counter out, because these can become pretty big blockers here, and I like that a lot. And then to finish off, we have Jinbei, which just says reveal 2 events. This character gains Rush, and then this character gets plus 1,000 until the end of your opponent's turn. So it's a 3/5 with Rush after revealing 2 events that we can give an additional 2,000 power to. I really like Jinbei, and I think it works really well in the deck. So I'm excited to play Rayleigh today altogether. I think this deck was really underrated whenever we first saw it. I mean, obviously that is one of the worst, basically, leader restrictions I've ever seen. Just you can't play 5 or higher characters, but other than that, I mean, this deck is well put together, and I'm just excited to see what we can do. So let's get in some games on the sim and see how Silver's Rayleigh really does. And we have game number 1 against Black Yellow Koala here. We did test this deck yesterday, so if you want to see that, you can either watch the live stream we did yesterday. We're going to take second, because their deck specifically likes to go second. We're going to keep this hand here. Now, it may be interesting to keep to some people, but I like this hand a lot. Just know that the first effect, or the second effect, says if we cheat out characters, so we're not going to cheat out any characters this game. That's going to be our big goal here, because that's what they're going to want us to do. Now we get to grab a red event from the top of the deck. We already have Gum Gum Mole Gun, and I think we're just going to go for, the 2k here, and then we're going to play out the Shakuraka and grab a Monkey D. Luffy, because we already have 2 events in hand, and then just pass to our opponent. We have some removal, which is nice, but we won't have that on until later. I built a build of this yesterday, so I would definitely say check it out. They're playing the Baby 5 to draw 2 cards. That's interesting right there. 7 at us, we will just take this attack very well. Very nice, and I enjoy that a lot. So this leader did not become very big. The only issue is we won't be able to use this effect without taking a life, which we don't need to do that at the moment. So we're going to do this. We're going to reveal the 2 events. Our opponent's going to confirm that they see a Gum Gum Mole Gun and an Armament Hockey. Now we're going to be able to swing in for 6 at our opponent, and then we're going to be able to use our leader effect here and swing in for 7 right after. Because we can actually go 6, 5, 7 if we wanted to, which I actually really don't mind that. We're going to reveal our 2 events again. We're going to make Buggy into a 5k, which is why this Buggy is just so strong. So we're going to go 6, 5, 5. We should have gone 5, 5, 6, of course, but I didn't think about, I was going to go 6, 7, but I think just getting a lot of cards out of hand is going to be very nice. Help us control the board. We have some bodies on the board. We have counter in hand. We have options. Our opponent had to take the first curve, which is not good for them. They use a trigger they can't actually use because it's not 5 or less life total. And they're taking very aggressively. They're playing into a trigger build almost, and drawing 2 cards from the Baby 5, going into the Heal engine. This is an engine that we actually put together yesterday, so I'm excited to see what else they can do. They're going 6 here. We're going to let that go, of course. No reason to really save it, if I'm honest with you. We could Gum Gum Mole Gun the blocker, but that's not really worth it. This is only on play, so we're not going to be using that. This has original cost of 4 or less, so I feel like the best thing to do is just start with our leader effect, reveal the 2 events that they already knew. Well, I guess they already knew these 2, and they didn't know this one, but that's fine. And then give +2 just to go ahead and swing in and try to see if we can get the blocker out of them, because that's going to be very important here. And then we may go double Shiraya, I'm not going to lie. We may actually go observation hockey, because that goes 1. Then we play out Luffy, so they do block just to pop the Jinbei, which is honestly fine with me. I'm actually totally okay with that. So we're going to go ahead and use the observation hockey. What does it say? Add 1 an active Dawn to our leader, and then grab a Luffy, a red event, or a card with 3 costs or higher. We're going to grab a red event here, because this deck will have to start blockering up at some point, so we're going to grab the unblockable event. We're going to swing in for 6 at our opponent here, and then we are going to Shiraya and Luffy, which is very nice. We're putting on a lot of aggression here, putting a few bodies on the board. This gets 2 free rested Dawn next turn, so that's just going to be oh so strong. Our opponent's going to play the 6 cost Bartholomew Kuma, and we're just going to totally ignore that. That's the card we really just don't care about. We just let it sit on the board. It would be nice to remove. That's pretty nice. Nico Robin here. We're going to trash a Shiraya and they won't have a character with 6,000 or more once we minus the character, the Nico Robin. So I think we're just going to drop the Mole Gun. I think we're really just going to dive in. Actually, no, we're going to drop the Luffy. I'm going to go wild here. We are going to drop the Luffy. Now our opponent could swing in for 5. They choose not to. Interesting enough. We're going to have 8 total Dawn, so we're definitely going to be playing down the Sanji. No. We may actually play out the Chopper, because we need to get some rested Dawn here. That's the biggest thing. So I think we're going to play Chopper. We're going to give himself 2 rested Dawn. We're going to leader effect, revealing the 2 cards that they already know. They already know technically all 3 of these, but it really depends on if they're paying attention. We're going to go ahead and swing in for 7 at our opponent here, because we can just go 7s across the board if we really want to. If we really wanted to. They block out. Interesting enough. So I think that just tells me I'm going to go 7, 7, 7. We could also just go get some cards out of hand. Just get 6 out of our opponent here. And then see what they really want to do. I really just want to get cards at this point. Well, they take aggressively. We don't need to even put the Sanji on the board. We have 0 cost counters in hand. So we have 5k counter we're sitting on. I think we're just going to go for it. 0 cost event is crazy. If you hit 2 of those in a row, I'm going to be mad. We could have just swung 5, but I'm fine hitting them for 6. If they hit 2 of those guys, we're quitting. We're quitting the video right now, because it looks like they're waiting to decide what to discard right now. And when that 0 cost event goes, I was about to punch the screen. No, but I think we basically just have this game in wraps. They could go 8-drop Dragon into 6-drop Kuma. I think they're just running our build of this, other than the Baby 5 trigger. Everything else just looks like our Rush Life Engine build. Black Spiral's very weird, I'm not going to lie. That is a very weird little tech choice, I guess. But hey, that's just a theory. A game theory. I'm excited to see what else our opponent cooks up here. We do have a strong blocker on the board. 8-drop Dragon would be really good. I figured out in the stream yesterday that 8-drop Dragon is a lot better than I thought. I was really hating on that card, and I was like, why would anybody ever use this? I get it now. I get it now. We're going to go I'm going to counter out. We have the unblockable for next turn, so that's going to be very nice. Now our opponent's going to swing in for 5. We're just going to block for free. They're going to play an 8-cost character here. It's going to be an 8-drop Katakuri. We're an 8-drop Dragon. They're going to play out Kuma to gain a life back, which is going to be very good, but they will not have a blocker. They could go Nico Robin, but that does not force us to discard cards because we do not have 5 or more cards in hand. Kuma is basically what they needed here. So what we're going to do is see how this event actually works, because this gives us unblockable. Give up to 2 active Dawn. So give him 2 active Dawn. It's just him who's unblockable, I think. I don't know, though, because I think it should. I guess that's just a translation error, because your opponent cannot activate blocker if that leader or character attacks during this turn. So it sounds like it stops the leader attack for the whole turn, but it's just the one character. Now, they didn't have the counter, which is nice anyways, but it is just the one character. Good clarification there. We actually could have just popped the blocker and gone that way, but I just wanted to see some other options through going through the deck. I'm excited to keep testing Koala. We will be streaming Friday live. If you guys want to join in, a nice little live stream, probably from like 5 until 11. We're going to probably do a 6-hour live stream on Friday, so please come in and join in while we play a bunch of One Piece and come hang out. So I'll see you there. Now let's get into that next game. Match number 2 is going to be against Yamato here. They usually like to take first, but we like to take life, so I'm cool with whatever. I think we will keep this hand. We have options for sure. We have the plus 2k. We have the Buggy. We have the Luffy. We don't have anything to play out with Luffy just yet because we're going to play Buggy, but we'll find something. We will find something. At least that's what we hope. I really don't know. I really don't know. We know we're going to Buggy that. Just wild that Buggy doesn't have counter, but I guess since the one costs 3k, I do understand why it doesn't. but it is what it is. Now our opponent should play down a searcher and then pass. They should do that. Or they could just pass. Play down Momonosuke. So now we're going to Shubayaka and grab another searcher right here. Very easy. And then we're gonna play down Buggy here and grab Gum Gum Molgun. We lose 2 of our choppers, which does suck, but it's okay. And then pass. So you can actually use this on your 1 Dawn turn as well. You can just give the active Dawn to your leader and still look at the top 4. It doesn't do anything. It just costs 1 basically. You can't swing, but that's okay. I like how it says dodge. It just says dodge. Interesting. Just dodge. 8 into face here. Well, that's a take if I've ever seen it. I'm going to tell you right now, that's a take and a half. So we're going to leader effect, reveal 2 of the same event. No, we're going to do 2 separate events, and we're going to put them to the very far side so we know what they were. We're going to give Buggy plus 2,000 power. We're going to swing in for 5 at our opponent here. We're going to swing in for 6 at our opponent. We don't have a body to cheat out with the Luffy, so that's my only issue with the Luffy right now. I don't have anything to play out with him. He's alright. I'm not really sold on this card. I'm not going to lie. I'm not sold on it. I like Shiraya more. We're going to go 5 at our opponent and then 6 at our opponent and play down the Shiraya. Just have a blocker on the board. It's going to be very nice. So we can do that. We have a lot of counter in hand thanks to us taking that first attack very aggressively. They took the first attack very aggressively, trigger out a body, no cards in hand. They get double Nekomamushi. That's crazy. We're going to play it on the blocker and pass. That's wild. Actually insane. Insane in the membrane. Insane in the membrane. So they could go 2 Dawn, swing, 2 Dawn, swing. And I feel like at that point we just let it go. If they're really going to put any utility into this card, we're just going to let them have it. This would be really good. Conqueror's Hockey would be very nice if we had an active Dawn, but we did swing in for 6. Not expecting them to trigger out 2 Nekomamushis, but it makes sense. Taking aggressively is the name of the game in Yamato, on average, just because you get to trigger out these strong bodies. Well, I wouldn't say strong, but helpful bodies. They get Banish. They get to give 2 free Dawn here to Nekomamushi to then go for Shiraya, which we will counter. This will be 2k here, and then a 2k here. Now if our opponent puts 2 more Dawn onto the Nekomamushi, and they swing the Shiraya again, we'll let it go. We will just let it go. Sounds like a pretty safe option, because we don't want to take a double attack Banish, so now they'd have to swing 8. Now we just get to block, and then 1k, because like might as well. They swing that heavy, now we just get to block for free, basically. And then they can swing Nekomamushi into face, we'll just take. At that point, give me another card in hand. Please, please, please. I have a fun idea, babe. Any day now. Swing, swing, swing here. This is your best bet. This is your best bet. There you go, and you can have it. Oh, it's slash attribute. This can't be KO'd by slash attribute characters or leaders. Got him. Got him. Well, what we can do, this is not a blocker right now because it doesn't have the 2 rested Dawn. We need to have a blocker on the board, though. We know we're going to tap out 3. We could go for the Luffy here, but we just don't have anything to... Oh, wait, so we could play Sanji. What am I thinking? Play this, reveal the 2 cards they already knew. Now we get to cheat out Sanji onto the board. Dude, I don't know why I didn't realize that Sanji was an option. Legitimately, Sanji was an option here. Because it is a 3k power character. Last turn I was like, there's just no character to play. Literally Sanji. Literally Sanji. Comment it down below. And then give 1 rested Dawn to your leaders or one of your characters. Let's go into our leader. Now let's leader effect. Reveal the same 2. Give plus 2k to Buggy. Now we can... I think we're going to observation hockey because we're going to use this Dawn anyways. So we're going to give 1 active Dawn to leader and grab a Monkey D. Luffy because we can't grab any of these. We'll put Boa towards the top just to search out, I guess. And then we're going to go 5 into Nekomamushi. We're going to go 7 into Nekomamushi. And then we're going to hold up Conqueror's Hockey here. So we're just going a little 5 because it's just a 1k. And then we're going to get a 7k. It should be 2 cards. They probably will let it go because they already gave us. They already have 1 on the board. I don't think you save this in my personal opinion. Because if not, we just win on the clapback. I'm just saying. I'm going to come in swinging on this next turn. So I don't think it's worth it for them. They do have a searcher on the board. So maybe they can draw extra cards. That's why they saved it. I don't know. I'm just a boy. I don't know. They don't know we have the Gum Gum Molgun. A 6-cost rush character would be very nice for our opponent. Because then they get to go 7 into Shiraya. And then they get to go 6 into face. And then they get to go 7 into a character on the board. That's pretty good. That is pretty good. I'm not going to lie to you. That is pretty good. But they can't get the Izo effect with the Rush character, with the Rush Momonosuke. They could go 5-drop Momonosuke, so they could Momonosuke, draw a card, 5-drop Momonosuke, gain a life, be sitting at a solid 3 life, and then go, what, 7, 6, or 5, 7, 7? Something like that. Instead, they go Banish again. So they're going to really try to remove this Necromamushi again, and I don't really vibe with that. But they can double Necromamushi this time, that's the only issue. 'Tis the only issue. They're going to go 7, in which we will 3 Dawn. So what we're going to do here is actually Conqueror's Hockey, rest a plus 2,000, rest the Dawn, minus 2,000 to the whole board, and then give them a 1k counter. So everything gets minus 1,000, which is very nice. Very, very nice here. So helps. See, now that they're going 7, we just let it go, because we can still get out of the Banish attack here. So they didn't really do anything that worries us. They don't have a blocker on the board. They're going 4 into 3 with Banish. At that point, you can have it. I'd much rather save my cards in hand at that point and not lose any board presence. Now, they don't have any Dawn. Oh, they do have... I thought they leader affected already. I think we just clear out the board at this point. 2 cards in hand. Blocker. So what we could do is leader effect, reveal, give plus 2,000 to Shakuyaka. I think that's the best option here. Waiting for our opponent to confirm. We're going to give plus 2,000 here. We're going to do a little 5 poke into Necromamushi. Our goal here is just to control the board at this point in the game, because we will be able to put down a blocker again. So if we can remove both these Necromamushis, we're in a good spot. So if we get 1 card from hand, now we know at most they can have a 2k. So we go 7, 7, 7, right? Oh no, we go... This is the only way we can play out the... This is the only way we can play the chopper. We're going to have to use the Armament Hockey. We're going to have 0 cards in hand. That's going to be okay, though. So they would have to give us a blocker here. If they don't, we don't even have to use the Armament Hockey. But if they were to block her out, I think we would have to use Armament Hockey to get through both of them, because it's 4, but this gives us 1 extra Dawn and an active character. They choose not to. That's very nice. If you have 2 or more attached Dawn cards, we have 2 or more. Hey, that's nice. Now we just go 7 again into Necromamushi. They block out. So now we go Armament Hockey, give 1 leader. Now it's a 7k, and we still have the 4 Dawn for the blocker here. So we just go another 7. They don't have a blocker on the board, and we will have a blocker on the board. So if they do have some kind of... Basically, all they need is Hody Jones, and Hody Jones still doesn't get them there, does it? Technically, it could. 7, 2 rested, and then 2 active. They could go 5, 5. No, because we'd probably have at least 1 counter here. That would be crazy if we didn't. That would blow my mind. We would literally just lose, because they could just swing 5 at face right now and get both of our life. But then with Hody Jones, again, it'd just be 5, 5, 8. Not that good. Not that good. They do go with Rush Momonosuke here. This is going to have plus 1,000 power if you have 2 or less life, which it does. Your leader gets plus 2,000. That's on your turn, which is very nice. And then once per turn, you may give 2 attached Dawn, get rid of them basically, and then get plus 1,000 power and Rush. So it's going to be an 8k 6-8 Rush, which is pretty good. Free 1,000 to the leader. They could hit us in the face. Instead, they're going for our board. We're going to just let that go. If they hit the Sanji, we're going to be able to draw cards. We can easily remove the Momonosuke, which is nice. Now they can just remove these 2 attached Dawn. They give it 1 additional Dawn. They're going to swing 8 into Sanji. That's fine. We'll resolve it. Draw a card. We get a Buggy. And the big goal here is just going to be removing this character. Now, actually, can we just go for game? We don't have 2 events. We can grab another event. I guess we'll grab Conqueror's Hockey. Because what we can do is... Can we? So... That would be 7. That would be 9. That would be 7. We don't have guaranteed lethal, so we're not going for lethal here. That sucks. Well, minus pop. We can't pop anything. So now we're just going to swing the little body into the little body. See what they decide to do here. And then we're going to play out Jinbei for 3. We're going to swing in with the Jinbei. So reveal 2 or more. Oh, we did not. We should have done this first, and then... That's okay, though. We're going to swing 6 at our opponent. We did misplay there. We should have done the Jinbei first to reveal the 2 cards and then played it out. That was just a complete misplay. And now we just pass. So we have the Conqueror's Hockey. We have a blocker. We have 3 bodies to swing in next turn. Our opponent has 1 blocker and 1 life. Could they Hody Jones us? The answer is no, because that would be 7. Maybe they could. They can technically Hody Jones. But now what they could do is just sit behind a blocker here with Izo. But if we get some kind of unblockable event, if we had the unblockable event, we just don't lose. Legitimately. They could swing 7 into face, take our 2 life, and then go 8 and 8. That would be the only way they don't lose here. Or the only way they guarantee win, if that makes sense. Or they could just go 7 into face. 7, 8, 9? No, 7, 8, 8. It's still the same math. We just take... So we get out of 8 just with these 2 cards alone. We do have Conqueror's Hockey, which is nice, but I don't want them to go towards the board, so I'm just going to take. We know we get out of it guaranteed. We have Unblockable here if we technically need it, which is the big thing we're holding up, because Unblockable is wild. Now, they can either give the 2 Rested Dawn to Izo to have a blocker, or they can go 8-8. Either way, they lose. If they don't have a blocker, we just win. If they do play the blocker, so no matter what, this is wraps for our opponent here, the green-yellow Yamato. GG's, friend. Figure it out, though. See what's on the board. Because I'm about to have Unblockable, and I'm going to swing 15. If you can't get out of 15, that's going to be GG's. Well, now they go 9 and then 7, which is not very good. I'm just going to take, because now I can just get out of 7. And there we go. G to the G's. So we had an out either way with the Unblockable. They had no counter. They had to go for game anyways. But we had the Unblockable. We had the Rush Jinbei to get through the blocker if we didn't have Unblockable. We still had a full board. We had the counter. GG's. On to the next one. Rayleigh on top. And final game is going to be against Blue Buggy here. We're going to take first away from our opponent. I think that's always going to be good against a Blue Buggy. We could keep this. We could mulligan this. We could keep it. But I think we have to mulligan it. We don't have 2 events in hand. Now we do, and I'm liking what we're doing. We're going to swing 5 at our opponent. We could have Observation Hockeyed early. My bad. So we're going to Jinbei, reveal 2 events. They're just going to be like, oh, now he gets Rush and then plus 2,000. We're going to Leader Effect, reveal 2 events. We could have, again, Observation Hockeyed early just to filter through the deck. We'll give 7,000 there. We're going to go and swing in 5 at our opponent. Oh my gosh, dude, my nose is tickling. My nose is tickling very badly. Now we can go Chopper on the next turn. We will swing 7 here. They will take. They counter out of the first one with the Pudding. They get the Sanjay Pilaf and pass. So they get the perfect little trigger right there because triggers are so good in other decks that aren't the correct color. We're going to... I think we're just going to counter out of that. I'd rather keep my Jinbei on the board. I know it's not super strong, but it's better than nothing. Now they have 10 cards in hand. Discard 2. They're going to be at 8. They discard Sables, which is very interesting. Did not expect our opponent to play that. I think what we're going to do is start with Leader Effect, reveal, and then give it to the Jinbei there. Now we're going to Observation Hockey, add 1 Dawn to Leader, look at the top, and grab a Conqueror's Hockey, because that's all we can grab. Oh, we can grab Shiraya. Oh, cost 3 or greater. Well, I would have grabbed Conqueror's Hockey, I'm not going to lie. Well, this is what we decided to do. So we're going to go 6 at face, 7 at face, and then play out the Shiraya. We could also go for the Chopper. But with our opponent going to 6, they're going to swing in for 6, so it doesn't do too much. And we lose a 2k in hand. I think I'd rather just go 7 and continue the aggression and play out the Shiraya here. And then pass. So at least we have a very nice blocker on the board. We do have some counter in hand. We can cheat out some bodies, hopefully next turn with the Luffy, if we can just get a 3k power character. We have a Conqueror's Hockey. We don't have it settled up, but 5 at me, I'm going to take that all day, by the way. And then 5 more at me. Oh, they're going to play a Buggy here. Our opponent is legitimately about to take a Buggy, so we're going to take, because we're looking for the 4-cost event. That's what we need to search for. 7-drop Buggy, just like we expected, into a Draco Mihawk. We need to pop this Buggy as soon as freaking possible. This card is so bad for our deck. We just kind of fold in this matchup, man. We got to find a way to not fold. We're going to start with playing the Buggy, looking at the top of the deck, and grabbing an event, which will be Armament Hockey. Now these guys can just not attack, but they are blockers still, which is convenient, I guess. But they don't really have any other purpose. We don't have any more searchers, so we're just gonna play out another blocker here. Then I think we're gonna swing 7 into face. They should just block him 1k. They take, very nice. Our goal is just to ignore the board and just go all in at this point. Because if they play a 10-drop Buggy, what's gonna happen to us? It's really not that bad. There's nothing we can do anyways. 10-drop Buggy, bottom deck my Shiraya, my Jinbei, or my Tony Chopper. I don't really care. I do not care. Do not care at all. Do I care about the 12k swing? Yes. That is a different conversation, my friends. That is a different conversation. We're basically just going to win off of getting into our opponent's head. They're going to be sitting on 7 Dawn. They could Buggy again, which would be kind of miserable here, I'm not going to lie. We're going to go ahead and I think we just use the counter event. 2k out of this. And then see what our opponent decides to do. They're going to swing in for 6 more. We could block in 1k. And then if they swing 7 more, we just 2k. We could have taken that as well, but I don't think they're going to swing with the blocker right now. They don't. They instead play the Mihawk. Oh, God. Now, this is where we're cooked. This is where we just lose the game. We have the perfect counter here in Buggy. We're going to play out this character. to grab a Luffy to hand. We're going to play out the Luffy over the Jinbei. We're going to use the effect, revealing 2 of the same card to give extra power to Buggy. We're going to swing in for... We're going to start with an 8. They should just block him 1k. I don't know why they're taking so aggressively. I was about to say, ain't no way. Ain't no way. Basically, at this point, I just need to continue playing blockers until we find 2 of these. Because I am about to go unblockable and just swing in for 15 next turn. I want you to know that. That is basically our win condition here. 2 of this card, to never doubt that is power. We got the early aggression that we needed before they got the 7-drop Buggy, and we can still win this. We can 100% still win this. That's just the hard part, is actually winning. The hard part is actually winning here. They can just tap 5 and play out a 10 cost, bottom deck our character, but they have a strong board already. So they're doing this with the Alvita. They're swinging the Alvita first to replace the Alvita. They're going to play a 10-12 and bottom deck one of our blockers. So if we block here, they're going to bottom deck the other blocker, giving us 0 blockers. So we are just going to let that roll, because if not, they were going to clear our whole board, because now's where they tap 5 here. Oh, they're going to swing the 7 first, which I guess makes sense. We are just going to take this. We are searching for another one of these. Block and 2k. Now's where they tap the 5. Yep, they're going to play a 10-drop Buggy. They bottom deck. What do they even bottom deck? That was interesting. We're going to start with using a Shakuyaka. Grab one of these. So now they're not going to have information that we have 2. We're going to give 1 Dawn. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to go unblockable 11k to face and play out another blocker. Pass. So the goal is next turn to hopefully not lose. Like that. We have 3 blockers, 2 life. They don't have a great way to remove our bodies, and they don't know we have another one of these because they saw us grab one and use one. So they're probably expecting that we don't have another one. The issue is Gravity Blade, right? That is the big issue here, because they could Gravity Blade 2 of our blockers. So if we take this, we have to, if we block out of this, basically we just don't get a blocker. So we just take a 12, because 12 is huge. I don't know why you would do a 12 first. So that is the first thing. Now they could Gravity Blade, remove 2 of our blockers, and then they would go 5, 7, 7. No, they just go 5, 7. We get out of those, and then we still have a blocker. Because we have to keep the to never doubt that is power. That is very important. This deck does brick up a lot. I think we just have game. I'm going to be honest. I think we found the out for this deck. We even beat Buggy, which is really hard to do. People are going to quit and just end the video too soon and not see this. So if you did see this, you need to comment down below, because we did end up beating a Buggy. Fingers crossed, at least. I'm hoping we did. I'm just worried if they are playing that Gravity Blade, but with how they're playing right now and how they're acting, I'm assuming they don't have it. I'm assuming they just don't have it. So I think what we'll do here is just counter 1. Just go ahead and get out of that attack. Again, we're playing around the Gravity Blade very well. They're going to swing in for 7, and then we can take this, block, counter. That's the goal. So we can take this attack. We're very safe to do so. We have enough counter for one of the 7Ks if they do Gravity Blade. If they don't, we have double blocker. So we're good. We're golden. I think we played this just perfect. They're going to play out another character, discard a card. They're going to go 8-drop Croc Mihawk into a blocker. They're just going to replace the Crocodile Mihawk with a blocker. Well, I am going to boom, 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 boom. Unblockable 17k. What do you have for me? I'm going to go ahead and put maybe 2 of those. We're not going to click send yet, but I think that's going to be a good game. Thanks to just being 17k, it would have to be 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 1. That's 3 2ks. That's 4 2ks. That's 5 2ks. That's 6 2ks. 7 2ks in hand is crazy. That is actually crazy. And we don't have enough events here, because what we could do is if we had enough events, we actually wouldn't lose, because they only have 2 blockers on the board, right? So we can't even swing these characters. That's just GG's. Oh my gosh, dude, that was crazy. I was so hyped. I thought we had the out, and then we lost. That was crazy, dude. Every 2K in the game. This guy was a really good Buggy player here. GG's to our opponent. I wonder how many of the 4-cost Buggies he was playing. I saw a couple in there. I think he was just playing 2. That was a fun game, dude. Subscribe just for that video. That one was a lot of fun. Well, that was Silver's Rayleigh. We saw the deck that just is detrimental to us, and that was a tough ending. But altogether, I think it's actually a lot better than we thought and anticipated. Now, is the deck perfect? No, not by any means. But I think it's very fun. I think it just needs more support in OP13. And if there is going to be a Roger leader coming out in OP13, there's going to be some more Rayleigh support. So I'm excited to see what else comes out for this deck and the future of the OP12 meta. Way more than OP11, if I'm honest with you. So tomorrow, we're going to be testing out a different OP12 deck and continue this pattern throughout the week. week. Live stream Friday from 6 until whenever we want to quit. And I will see you guys later. Peace.